Hello, my little mathematicians. Today, we're going to learn how to divide mixed numbers. The first thing you want to do is change any mixed numbers, so these guys, into improper fractions. After you change them into improper fractions, you flip the second fraction and then change division into multiplication. This is essentially the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal. And then I have this helpful little saying of keep, change, flip to represent this step. So you keep the first fraction the same. Once they're both fractions, improper fractions, you keep them the same, the first one the same. You change division to multiplication, and you flip that second fraction. Okay, so again, if you want that part in your notes, you could say keep first fraction the same. Change, and you would be changing division to multiplication. And then you flip the second fraction. Once you have that set up, it's a normal multiplication problem, and you can cross cancel if possible. Then you multiply across, and then you reduce if possible, or simplify. Okay. Now, some of you guys are wondering, what does this mean? Like, why am I even multiplying by the reciprocal? You always do this, you just don't even know that you're doing it. If you were to start with 8 divided by 2, essentially what you're doing, you understand that 2 is the same thing as 2 over 1, correct? Okay, yes, 2 over 1 is the same thing as 2. If you multiply by the reciprocal, change division to multiplication, flip 2 over 1 to become 1 over 2, and then you just multiply across, 8 times 1 is 8, and 1 times 2 is 2. Now it's saying 8 divided by 2, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. It's just when they're whole numbers, it's so simple we don't even think about it, but we essentially are changing division to multiplication and multiplying by the reciprocal. We just do it quickly in our heads. But when it's fractions and there's a number here and a number here, it's no longer 1, it does matter. And we need to keep the first fraction the same, change division to multiplication, and flip that second fraction. All right, now that we understand what this actually means and why we're doing that, let's actually try some. So that first step, we said, is change any mixed numbers into improper fractions. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so I'm going to change both of these from mixed numbers into impropers. So I'm going to take the denominator, multiply it with the whole number, and add the numerator. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 plus 1 is 13. Denominator stays the same. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. Denominator stayed the same. Now that I changed the mixed numbers into improper fractions, I have a fraction divided by a fraction, I do keep, change, flip. Keep the first fraction the same. Change division to multiplication, and flip that second fraction. Now I look to see if I can cross cancel. No, no. Multiply across. 13 times 2 is 26. 3 times 5 is 15. Okay, and then can I reduce it? No, but I can simplify it by taking the top and dividing it by the bottom. 15 goes into 26 once. When you subtract that, 6 minus 5 is 1, 2 minus 1 is 1. So you take your remainder of 11 and put it over what you divided by of 15. So 26 over 15 is the same thing as 1 and 11/15. And I can't reduce 11/15, so I'm done. Okay, for my next one. Okay, that just goes over 1. This one, I need to change it from a mixed number to an improper. So 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. Now that I have a fraction divided by a fraction, I keep the first one the same. Change division to multiplication and flip that second fraction. Now, can I cross cancel? Yes, I can. What can go into both 3 and 9? 3 can. What's 9 divided by 3? 3. What's 3 divided by 3? 1. Can I cross cancel those? No. Now that I got it simplified down to smaller numbers, let's multiply across. 3 times 2 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1. And anything over 1 is just itself. So 6 over 1 is 6. Okay, for my next one, they're both mixed numbers. So let's change them both to impropers. Keep that denominator the same. 7 times 3 is 21. 21 plus 5 is 26. 7 times 9 is 63. Plus 1 is 64. Now that they're single fraction divided by a single fraction, you keep the first one the same. Change division to multiplication and flip that second fraction. Do you see anything that can cross cancel? What about the 7s? Yeah, they both can be divided by 7, and anything divided by itself is 1. What can go into both 26 and 64? Well, they're both even, so 2 can go in. What's 26 divided by 2? 13. What's 64 divided by 2? 32. Now let's multiply across. 13 times 1 is 13. 1 times 32 is 32. Can I reduce it? No, because 13 is prime, and it can't go into 32. So then obviously nothing's going to be able to go into both numbers. Okay, our final one. Let's go ahead and you try it first, and then pause the video, and then unpause it when you think that you have it. And you can come back and check with us. Okay, you keep the denominator the same. Multiply 3 times 6 is 18. 18 plus 2 is 20. Divided by, it's already a fraction, so just keep it a fraction. Now that you have a fraction divided by a fraction, we keep the first one the same. Change division to multiplication and flip that second fraction. Do you see anything that can cross cancel? Yeah, 3 could go into both 3 and 9. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. Can anything go into 7 and 20? No. So let's multiply across. 20 times 3 is 60. 1 times 7 is 7. Can I leave it like that? No, because it's improper. So I'm going to take the top and divide it by the bottom. 7 goes into 60 8 times, because 7 times 8 is 56. When I subtract that, I get 4. So I put my remainder of 4 over what I divided by, which was 7. So 60 over 7 is the same thing as 8 and 4 sevenths. Can I reduce 4 sevenths? No. So you're done. Congratulations, my little mathematicians. You have now conquered dividing mixed numbers.